podcast. This is ABC DVD, two brothers' alphabetical journey through our treasured DVD collection that was rescued from the Nazis. I'm Josh.
I'm Noah.
And today we're talking about Kelly's Heroes.
Yes.
1970s war film?
War film?
Heist film?
Buddy comedy?
Thing? Clint Eastwood movie. Let's go with that.
This puts me in mind as when every 5-10 years or so, a movie company will get like, let's get the biggest actors together and put them into a movie and
see what happens.
I mean,
it's their generation's Monuments Men, basically.
Yes, but it's like, God, it's Mars Attacks. Like,
I forgot about Mars Attacks.
We have all these great talents, but the story doesn't really hold them that well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's not bad. It's not bad. No, it is a war comedy heist film. Yeah.
Yeah, it falls into a couple different...
It's like we just have a lot of ideas and we just throw them at the wall and see what stuck. And it somewhat works and it somewhat doesn't work.
We will talk about what doesn't work.
But it's a 1970 movie directed by Brian G. Hutton, who has done Where Eagles Dare. Good.
I was going to say...
Clint Eastwood.
Real quick, because you said that.
Yeah.
The font at the start of this film, I was like, God, that looks like Where Eagles Dare.
I was like,
do they just have like... World War II Nazi film. Bring up this font.
Yeah. It's papyrus. No.
World War II film. Comics? No, we can't do comics.
Yeah, no. World War II font.
Yes.
Yeah. And then he also did Night Watch and Soul Madrid. I don't know those two, but written by Troy Kennedy Martin. He did The Italian Job, both the original and the remake.
Ooh.
And Red Heat. It stars Clint Eastwood as Private Kelly. Here's what IMDb chose.
Okay, let's hear what IMDb thinks.
$1 Million Baby,
sure.
Gran Torino, and Unforgiven.
No spaghetti westerns.
No spaghetti westerns. None of Dirty Harry.
No man without those. Okay, whatever. He didn't do that.
I mean, it's not like those are bad movies. It's just like I was surprised.
Okay,
were you surprised? I was surprised. Their next IMDb chose Telly Savalas as Sergeant. Tony Savalas as Sergeant Big Joe. He was on His Majesty's Secret Service, Capricorn 1, and Backfire, and he's also known for Kojak.
Who Loves You, Baby?
God, I love that lollipop. And then the third billing was Don Rickles as Crap Game.
Yeah.
And he's in Casino and all of the Toy Stories. As Mr. Potato Head.
Oh, you know what? I did not.
I mean, even after he died, they had enough of his dialogue that they kept him in for one more movie.
I'd love to think that he just kept talking and they never stopped recording.
I mean, it was like him and the Slinky Dog,
Ernest,
yeah. It was like, they just kept them. They had enough dialogue covered to keep them in some of the movies. It also is a with Keith Sutherland, but I've already done my 3. But Keith Sutherland's in this as well. Or is it Donald? Donald Sutherland.
I was like, there is no Keith. There's no 24.
I always do that. That is my dyslexic brain. The father's in this. Donald Sutherland's in this.
And I have notes for Donald Sutherland.
Yes,
but we'll get to that.
I should start with the synopsis. A group of U.S. soldiers sneaks across enemy lines to get their hands on a secret stash of Nazi treasure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, that is what the movie is about.
But we start as any good 5th grade horror story is on a dark and stormy night. Yeah. Nazis are about.
Well, and I love that they're just waiting in line with all the other Nazi equipment, and then they get noticed like, we're just gonna drive off, and they'll be like, there's a lot I say about this movie of the Nazis are nice allowed to let you just drive through the war.
It's one of those like, as long as you look like you're doing something and you're doing it orderly, the Nazis won't notice.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very
but
organized,
like,
very Nazi.
If you run a Nazi over, you get a little boogie woogie.
Yeah. Oh my God, this opening song.
This song that pops up 3 more times.
Yeah.
Does not work.
Does not. I mean, it's very 1970s of, okay, I guess you really like this song. I also heard that there was a potential, or it actually exists, of Clint Eastwood singing it for the soundtrack that has never actually made it to print.
When you love a flower child. I mean, it takes you out. I mean, I know this is time and place, and this might have played well with the audiences, but it's like, because my wife came in while I was watching this midway. She goes, "Oh, is this Vietnam?" I'm like, no. She goes, "Korea?" I'm like, no. She goes, "World War II?" I'm like, yeah. I understand that it is a World War II film, and I know it does have things to say about the conflicts of the time, but it doesn't do it.
I mean, it was, I think, an intention to be a critique of the Vietnam War using World War II as a lens, but it doesn't do it well. Whereas, like, later on when MASH does it using the Korean War, that makes a lot more sense and does work. Whereas, like, World War II's got its own flavor, and you to throw Vietnam and 1970s lingo,
60s/70s
lingo, it's like
it takes you out.
Jarring.
And this is one of a few examples that we'll come back to about you throwing your modern day quotey fingers into your historical quotey fingers piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. I was like, he steals a Nazi colonel and gets out. I'm like, I want to know that story too, because that seems like that was a story.
That's the more impressive of. He was just supposed to grab some guy just so they know where to stay, where the good hotels are. But he gets actually one of the most important people on the battlefield.
But this is where we're starting to introduce characters. You got Sergeant Kojak. He's a firebrand. He's gonna yell at you. He's looking out for his men. He wants to find some good R&R, and that was like his shtick for the first half of the film.
Yeah, I was like, where are the broads? Where's the booze? The brass don't know anything is another thing of his captain not knowing anything. And
he's the man in charge, as it were. But Kelly, gets charged with interrogating this colonel and finds about Operation Xmas Tree.
Yes.
Tannenbaum.
Tannenbaum.
And he finds out that they're transporting gold.
Yeah, all that gold that they got, fun. That's not family gold, but there's bars of gold that they can steal and not have repercussions because it's behind enemy lines, so they're not looting because they're taking from the enemy, but they're not giving to the brass either, who would use it for the war fund. And it's like, no, this could set us up for life.
And it's about 14,000 gold bars, and that he knows that there are 3 Tiger tanks watching it. And this is all when they're trying to evacuate this area. We get the first example of most of the budget was on pyrotechnics.
Yeah, I know. My joke is like, we spent all this money on the explosions. We're going to use all the explosions.
Yes. And there are times where it's like, we're just going to blow things up. Why? Because it's fun.
It's fun. I mean, they joke about like, Mulligan, who's the mortar commander or sergeant or something, always messing up. It's like, he needs a mulligan. It's just, it's just, we're going to blow stuff up. And this was filmed in Yugoslavia because they had a lot of period authentic tanks and stuff that they could use for filming, and it's close enough, to the French line.
There were times, and this is neither here nor there, where it's like, I know you were saying this is in France. It really feels like it's in Italy sometimes, and sometimes it feels like it's somewhere else. And that's okay.
Yeah, no,
that's not. It's just like
it's not the point of this film.
Yeah, but moving forward, we see that Clint Eastwood is setting things up. He's talking to Mulligan, saying like, "I need you to lay some fire down there." He's like, "Well, why?" I'm like, "Because I have this magic piece of gold."
I honestly thought he only had one bar when this was shown. So he gave one to Mulligan, and then he goes to Don Rickles, and he gives another one. I was like, wait. How does he have 2 golds? And it's like I finally realized that the colonel has a satchel full of gold bars. Yeah, and it confused me for a second.
But it's like, I do like it because it is that old timey. It's magic gold bar because you have the magic soundtrack every time he pulls it out. Like, I was like, ooh, magic gold.
Yeah,
but it's like he's basically trying to get things in order, all the while his squad is being set up by this inept captain who wants to, take his yacht for 3 days.
He's looting and he's doing all his own things.
He says like, no, you can stay at this boring farmhouse for 3 days. And
it's for relaxation. I love his Sergeant Big Joe's like, there's no broads, there's no booze. And Kelly goes like down the road and finds the Don Rickles and Sutherland. And what does he find? He finds broads and booze right there.
Yeah, but but when he is meeting with Rickles to kind of the man who can get things in his crate village.
Yes.
He sets that up. They kind of do the quick math saying, first 1.6, but then 16 million.
Yeah.
You also get Donald Sutherland's character, which I have a problem with this character.
Yeah.
Not so much in spirit, but in like, he is
it's 1970s.
way too 60s.
Yeah.
like, hey man, you
Yeah,
know,
we're good
just
vibes, man, and
it's
all
like
this.
it pulls me out of this period terribly, and like the whole tank command unit
is all this
is out of time and place, and I understand that is the joke for the 1960s 70s audience.
What would we look like in a World War II setting?
But you know, you flash forward to now, we're looking at it in these lenses, and I have, you know, a more sense of like, you know, pieces that have taken World War II more seriously. It's like, well, this just seems weird.
Yeah, you didn't have to be anachronistic with your characters. You could have had some slacker like characters that would have fitted with the time, and I don't know if this was funny for the time period, but it wasn't for me.
No, it's very weird. But I mean, it sets up that like he's the tank people. They have special tanks.
Yeah,
you know, kind of like, hey, be here at this date because we're moving forward with you, and you're our firepower.
Yeah. And we get more explosions.
Well, I mean, there's.
We get them driving through the German lines again. And no one ever wants to fire on a vehicle, but you want to talk more things. The alarm clock for the mortars.
Well, I mean, you have to have like there's the stereotype. We have to have the big talk.
Oh yeah, the talk with Joe.
Well, I mean, and it works.
I mean, it's basically everyone says yes.
It's drawn out.
Yes,
where everyone says that. You know, you have the first night. Rollout, which the only thing I have to say about the rollout, and it comes back to the soundtrack, is the music is dynamic, but it's all recorders.
I know, yeah.
And then we get the big boom through the town.
Through the town of, okay, this is what the mortars were for, and the alarm clock was kind of amusing. But I was like, man, they do not want to fire on any vehicle that just drives through the...
I was like, well, meanwhile, going back to scene one, the town that's perpetually on fire. But it's like, no, we get a tour of boom through this set, which it's fine. It's, you know, I guess... its own level of tension, but they make it through just fine. Yeah, and then we get introduced to the General. General Archie Bunker. He plays General Colt. And this is definitely another like Vietnam reference of taking to task the brass not being and I put like incompetent leadership, which reminds me of better films of like Dr. Strangelove or Catch-22. Catch-22 being also a World War II film that kind of deals with this of like, you know, no one knows what they're doing, and you know, victories are kind of almost stumbled upon. Yeah, and it's the people on the ground who are actually doing the things. Yeah, which is fine, but it's like it's almost comic because like later on, it's like he's in his bathrobe and he still has his stars on his bathrobe. But I mean, it is red coats and I guess if you're going to get a bombastic General Archie Bunker is not the worst person to get. But you know, it's and the Archie Bunker scenes are. I mean, I come back to like I don't know if this was funny back then. It's not funny to me now. I think the character of the General is to kind of give another level of tension to say we need to get this out and not be caught by our own people as well. So it's that trying to make the heist, and he's the ticking clock catching up to them. Right. And I think later on, and like it almost stumbles into like, that's a clever idea of how everyone almost accidentally becomes part of this offensive that works. Yeah. I wish, you know, in another movie, this would have been like, all the roads lead to here. That's really smart. And that's how you got this really big victory is just by accident. Yeah. We get a brief scene of the hippie tanks talking about like, we're going to go through this place and I don't like your negative attitude. Negative vibes, man. And then I love this transition because after that scene with Oddball, we cut to a tree. And we hang on this tree. And then we pan down to the tree. And it's just all the people lined up. I was like, that is a transition you chose for some reason. It's downtime camp. It's like, it's almost counting their supplies from all the ammunition they used. And it's like, it's almost the stereotypical of like, you know, like, oh, you write into your mom. It's like, it is drawn out, which is whatever. It pads. And, you know, the long and short of it is they get shot on by their own air support, and lose their vehicles. This is not, this is not sanctioned, so they don't know there. And the, Army Air Corps was told to fire on any trucks, so they did. We then also go to a train station, a German train station. Where there's just tank carnage, and this is just more boom time. Yeah, Oddball comes out and he plays this, relaxing music, and they blow things up. I mean, I guess to show that they are doing their competent at when they do it. Yeah. But it's just like, we had a train station, we wanted to blow it up. And then the joke of, see, the bridge is still there. And then the bridge explodes. It's like, all right, we're going to need to bring more people in. You think we need another guy? And then we need another guy.
So they
But I
bring.
mean, like I said,
Yeah.
it edges so close to being funny and smart.
Yeah.
Like, well, we need to build a bridge. Well, I need at least 100 men. Well, where am I going to get 100 men? Well, there's some right behind you. It's like you're getting more people involved in this small incident that it could have been that thing of like, oh, I really wish it turned into like, this is how we did, this a major offensive was because one person wanted to go steal some gold.
Yeah, some like Hogan's Heroes of by distracting them, D-Day happened or something like that. Yeah.
We then get probably the most tense
the most war-esque of the minefield.
Yeah, and it's like, no, that was done of showing like, everyone pull out your bayonets. We're going to walk in this line. And the patrol's coming. That one is played off really well. Of like, you do feel the tension,
and this is where they kind of introduce stakes of we're gonna lose some people on this, because they lose two people on this.
3 people.
3. That's right.
One was blown up by the mine. 2 were shot.
So, right. One was blown up by the mine, and 2 were shot by the Germans.
Yeah, and it's like there's lots of shooting. It is that 1970 of where you shoot, and a few seconds later, the bullet hits and they fall down. But everyone is sad. But then the tanks show up and then everyone's happy.
Yeah. And I just for our generations, their little ambush was like crossfire. You get caught in the.
I mean, but it's like I do like it. It is almost the old cowboy shoot 'em up where it's like you shoot. Yeah. And then the person does the overreaction.
You would expect a Wilhelm scream kind of thing.
We flash to General Archie is upset because he's getting word about this offensive that's now like 30 miles. And he goes, well, whose is it? And everyone's like, I don't know.
I mean, it's that, I think it was a West Wing quote of, it's like, you're like that inept politician of like sees a crowd go by. It's like, those are my people. I must figure out where they're going so I can lead them.
Exactly. But yeah, it's like, it is a long joke of almost like listening to the ball game and saying, no, go.
Yeah.
But you basically, it's like they have one tank left.
Yeah, I love that they like blow up everything on screen, but every now and then, every time a tank gets hurt, it's like, that happened off screen.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We don't have the budget.
We don't have the budget to actually blow one of these up.
But basically, they're moving forward, so the general is all energized. He wants to go join it, so he's now moving. So this clock has now started.
And the bridge people, they want their cut. It's like, you got to build the bridge, and we're moving forward. And if you don't make it in time, you don't get your cut. And
then we get number 2 of the Boogie Woogie montage.
Oh, God,
But yeah, so we finally get to the town, and we get kind of a sweeping vistas of like, this is a peaceful quotey figure, peaceful town. Everyone's sleeping.
Nazi occupied village.
Yes, everyone is still sleeping. I love that is excuses. The whole town is sleepy.
Yeah,
they're not out because they're sleeping.
Well, I mean, you can think of, we're so far behind lines, we don't have to worry.
Well, no, but it was more that, why are there only Nazis out? The town is sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love that. I was like, if they're protecting this town and this bank, you think they'd have the bell tower covered, but no.
Well, that was my thing. I was like, how'd they get into the bell tower? Well, we weren't guarded.
They were not going to cover. And I also love when they're talking about their plans and that there's 3 Tiger tanks and Oddball's not thrilled about it. It's like, he talks to Rickles' character. It's like, to you, a hero is just a sandwich.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, that's a stupid line, but it made me chuckle.
Yeah,
it made me breathe out heavy.
Credit where credit is due. If you're gonna get, but basically, it's like, okay, we're gonna get into place. We're gonna find a way to even the odds, and there's a long setup of everyone getting into place.
It's like, we need to be here. You're gonna be here. You're gonna ring the bells to cover it. Oh no, they're using their engines, so you can start moving. And
I mean, it's all thought out. It's just
it's like you can see, like, yes, by having the preparation, the smaller squad can take on a larger one through ambush. But it's like, man, they made a meal of it.
Well, and then they get to it. They ring the bell, and it's go time.
Yeah. And then it's just final battle. That's
a final battle.
That's all I wrote.
There's Tiger tanks running around. There's booms. There's shooting.
I mean, I did quite get enjoyed of. Okay, they finally used the paint rounds that they mentioned earlier on.
It's an oopsie daisy.
But it's an oopsie daisy, and then the Tiger tank is stuck, which is like they said, these are open field tanks, so get them in urban setting, they don't do as well.
No, and like I said, it works. It's long, and it's like,
I mean, I know we're giving this crap like we don't like it. It's like, I'm fine with this movie. I just don't. I'm not enthralled with it either.
Yeah, but I mean, the ending, and this is where I guess it could be as like a twist, is to say like, well, we have one Tiger tank left. Let's cut a deal.
Yeah, and then I love that. Okay, we have Clint Eastwood.
Might as well do a Western scene.
Let's make the reference. Let's make the good and bad, ugly reference of having him have the high noon showdown with the tank.
Well, along with spur sounds when no one has spurs.
Yeah.
But it's like they come up and the German comes out and he's very...
Yeah, he's got the scar.
He's straight up ready to be a Bond villain.
Yeah.
But he comes up and, we're doing like the broken English and it's like, hey, do you like magic gold? And it's like, just blow that door open. It's like, no, everyone loves magic gold.
Well, I just love it's like, the money is a great equalizer. It's like, did you know there's gold in there? It's like, no. Do you want some?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So they blow it up and, we go to the Liberation, which I also have to point this out.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
There are a lot of 60s looking people in that Liberation crowd. It's like, listen, we've run out of money for costumes. And everyone just shows up.
Show up, yeah. and I do like the idea of the general on their tail trying to catch up to them and give them medals, but they're trying to get away from him.
Yeah.
And I do love when he approached the newly made bridge and the guy thinks he's in trouble and he's like, you're American hero. And he's like, thank you.
Well, it's like, I'm relieved, but I just lost $16 million.
My cut of $16 million, and I can't rat them out either because then I'm in trouble for building this bridge.
Like I said, the story as it is tight.
Yeah.
It doesn't leak, but it is like where you're like, okay. I mean,
it could have done better. I mean, there's like different spoof, like Top Secret is like a Cold War war film that is a spoof, but this isn't a spoof.
No,
this is just a comedy. And then you think of like MASH as a Korean one, and it's like, well, that's different. It
is. I mean, and
they're straddling the line too much, I guess, is my problem with this.
And the first time I watched this, because our mother gave it to us and it was in our collection, I watched it in college. I'm like, you know what? Yeah. I've never seen.
Yeah.
At the time,
something
like this. So it's enjoyable and like the oddity factor.
Yeah,
like, you know what? There's not a lot of films like
zany World War II heist films. Yeah.
I mean, I think, like you said, Monuments Men comes close, but that's a real story.
That's a real story, and they try to do it somewhat serious.
Yeah, it's like the comedy works because like it's like these aren't real soldiers.
They're civilians and art historians in the battlefield.
It's like they get the gold in this one. They drive off into the sunset, stuff like that. But it's like, I think because I can't put it in time and place, say like, was this a good movie back then? It's like box office wise, it's about a push.
Yeah.
But it's like,
well, they spend so much on explosions.
I was just say it's like,
and I was like, if you cut out like one or two battles, this would be perfectly timed.
Yeah.
I got a little tired of some of the battles.
Yeah. It's like, okay, this is getting a little long.
So that would have saved budget and time, but it's fine.
It's fine.
I don't begrudge it. I don't think it's a bad movie.
It's like, it's one of those,
I don't think it's a good movie.
Yeah. It's like, am I sad for watching it? No, because I think there is a fun factor of like, wow, that's Clint Eastwood. That's Kojak. That's, all these people.
That, Don Rickles
why
is here.
Why did I not know about this? Like, well, there's a reason you don't know about, but it's
like afterwards it was like, well, what's a memorable line in it? It's like, I don't really have any.
No, I mean, it's like, it is what it is. It's like,
but I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah,
I probably won't rewatch it that much.
No, it is. It is an oddity. It is.
We're damning with faint praise, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of a 5-star. I give it a 3 stars.
It's
you're fine.
You're
fine.
Whatever. But there weren't a lot of women in this.
There were not a lot of women in this.
Yeah. No, there were not. No ladies.
No ladies.
No homeless people either.
Tramps?
Yes, that's what they are. I mean, you could have been mean about the ladies and calling them tramps. But
no,
but we're going with the original term.
We are going to rise above the problems of Lady and the Tramp.
Yes.
We are going to be above it.
We're going to be above those. Yeah, we go from a war film to a Disney animated of puppies.
Puppies that has a lot of social commentary.
It does.
My word.
My word. Oh, dear.
But that's for next time.
Next week. Yeah. So, watch Kelly's Heroes when you have a yen, for zany.
It's fun explosions. It's World War II. There's heists. It's funny.
It's Clint Eastwood.
It's a meat and potatoes film.
Yeah. And hopefully, if you haven't seen Lady and the Tramp, it's not that long. So
it may be worth a rewatch. There's
things you might have forgotten about.
There is things you're like, oh my, I completely glossed that over.
My child brain did not catch that.
Yeah. So till next time.
All right.
Bye.
Dun, 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 dun. I don't know why A-Team and Kelly's Heroes works for me. It's a group of people.
You love it when a plan comes together.
You know?